Hell out of dreams with different teams. I've changed a lot and it's not what it seems. Word to my mountain, keep doing these memes. New baby girl and this one is for keeps. Don't waste no time, if I want it, I take it.
Guys, I hear you and I hear you very well. Guys, where were witch doctors and witches and wizards during apartheid or during the struggle of black people? Because against each other, these people are so effective when it comes to black magic. Why didn't they use it during apartheid against white people? Or against colonial settlers or whatever? Because Tina, you steal someone and they can use a tracker on you. Yeah? Or maybe you mix something, you make these white people go away. Or you want to tell me that witchcraft does not work with white people? Where were these people, all this time? Where were they? Because now, if you want to say now that, hey, don't lawyer, ne? And then I ask you, and you tell me it's been there all along. Why didn't we use it during apartheid? Because that's the grudge. The only grudge I have against witchcraft, is the grudge against apartheid. We should have mixed something, guys. We should have mixed something against those people. Why can't like even these days? The other problem I have is that even these days, like in recent times, the times that we are living in now, like it's very hard to. I've never even heard a black person say yena ulwile le go. Why ile sa ba lo you want say lo le ba lo ba re felende le ba lo ba why ka re lo bereka against rena fela shumishang boloi bo right gane a lena revolutionary witchcraft na le shumishe lena re right. I think I know why Android users hate iPhone users. Like I think I know why. You know, sometimes you often hear rich people say poor people hate rich people because they don't have money. And I think it's the case. This is the case we're dealing with here. I think the only reason why Android users hate iPhone users is that they don't have iPhones. Because I've seen Android users hate iPhone users until they got iPhones, and then all of a sudden they didn't hate iPhone users. They became the iPhone users that other Android users hated. There is no obvious virtue. People will express the differences between iPhone and with banter. This one is better than this one is better than this one. It has nothing to do. But some people generally have a thing against iPhone. No. Look, I don't hate iPhone users and I don't use an iPhone, but I've seen that people have a thing against iPhone until they actually own an iPhone. That's how I've seen it. Whether it's better than certain Android or not, that is out of the picture. But people have a thing against iPhone until they own an iPhone. And then when they own it, and then it's like, oh, now you are playing with the big boys. Now you are part of the big boys. You can't hate big boys when you're big. You can't. It can never be. Even though you disagree respectfully because we are big boys. You understand? You don't feel inferior. You don't feel superior. You are big boys. You understand? So I think if maybe let's do this. Let's do this. One day we must just get iPhones for Android users. Rara fetch on for maybe 10 days. Let's see how they behave. You will see, we'll eliminate this thing. Let's just see how they behave. These people is not that they don't like iPhone users. They don't have iPhones. If they get iPhones, you will see they are very good people. Guys, there are some instances when it comes to naming people where men have been cheated good names. Listen to this, guys. Hear me out properly. There's Daniel, a man, Daniel. And then there's Danielle, a woman, right? It's a girl's name. Danielle, L-L-E at the end, is a woman. And Danielle. Why isn't that names like Chantel and Chantel? Then Chantel becomes a boy. And then Chantel is a girl. You see, these women cheated. But somewhere there was corruption when it comes to naming. There was Rosette, and then Rosette, TTE. was supposed to be the girl. Somewhere, somehow, there was corruption when it comes to names. Mm-mm, mm-mm. Also, Chantel. You understand? It's Danielle. Wabona uri somewhere somehow there was cheating somewhere somehow. Guys, we also want beautiful names. Look, when we are left with scary names. Moshimane lebitso lengwe la go tshoša ka gore hehehe wena o ka se re ke leina la bashimane ka gore ba file banenyana maina e be e tshwantse e be fentwe. The moment someone said Daniel nkebe napile ba tshamba ba di-L tšela ka moka di-L tšela ka moka ba re it's for men di-L tšela ka moka LLETTE Rosette what ka moka e be banenyana, so that there must be fairness here. I think as listeners of radio and podcasts and everything, we must lower our expectations when we meet radio presenters, because you see, it's not like when you see, it's more like, yes, it's more like this. It's more like when you see someone online and you see them and you meet them in person and you're like, hey, there's a huge difference. Guys, you must brace yourself for the difference between someone's voice and how they look, because I think some of us are not ready for the shock when we hear someone who's a radio presenter and then we see them and we're like, yo, this person actually looks like their voice. Or you say, yo, Mutobi Phileas Rock does not even look like their voice at all. Some people will shock us and we look at them and think, remove that voice and give it to someone else who looks like that voice. But then you must prepare ourselves, because I don't like when you see some of these radio presenters over level voice because sometimes you get a picture of how beautiful someone is, like on podcasts, but I know hey man is beautiful, because you can't see them and they have a beautiful voice when they speak, very well spoken, articulate, you understand, babulela as a speaker and everything, the pitch sound of their voice, hey, the way they articulate themselves or speaking, they convey and express themselves, you understand. And then when you meet them in person, you're like if you would have never guessed, or a voice or such a so and so's voice, you can put it on this firm's face. Whether you think they're beautiful or ugly, it doesn't matter. But the mismatch in voices when you meet people's radio presenters or podcast presenters in person, it dronga. Guys, okay, again on this one, I know I'm not the only one who does this, but then I'm scared of dogs, I'm scared of dogs. Hear me out. I'm scared of dogs, and I'll run whenever a dog chases me. But if it gets close, because it must not corner me. It must chase me, but it must not corner me, because I'm scared of it, but I'm scared of a dog. But then I'm not scared of it at the same time. I don't know if this makes sense. As long as I can run away, I'll run. But that dog must not use its chance and say and think, well, I'm scared of it. Because when I see that now it's getting close and I can't outrun it, that's where I turn around now and I beat it. And you see this even with animals, like animals when they are being chased by lions and with buffaloes. And a buffalo will run until it sees it. There's a huge problem here. That is when it will start turning and facing the lions. So when these dogs chase, like, I'm scared, guys. I will run like all out. That dog must not chase me more than 2 houses. Like it can chase me. First house I run, second house I continue running. Like as soon as I pass the second fence, the fence at the second house, and then it must stop and go back home. What is it doing still chasing me? Because the moment it chases me further than that, that is when I turn and I'll beat it up. And like go ibetha hore le be le makala hore be ke tšhabeng la mathomo ka gore le ke to le makatša of it. Kanti who taught us that when we're speaking to old people, we have to use past tense as a form of respect or what. Because in our African languages, whenever you're speaking to old people, I think no one tells us this, but it feels rude to tell them straight up, this is what I want. We're always on some past tense. I wanted, or I wanted to say. Past tense, J. And then this is what my dad used to do. Whenever I came to him and I walked up to him, whenever I walked up to him and said, Ish Papa, I wanted, and he was like, okay, sharp, he keeps quiet. And he's like, hey, I go to him again. It's like, hey, I wanted, it's like, sharp, you wanted it again. Now you don't, it means now you don't want it anymore. So, and I was like, and then he's the one who made me aware of this. Like, and why is it that when you speak to old people, we use past tense? It's like, I don't know, it happens. And when you listen to other people speaking, you get that sense of, okay, you use past tense when you speak to old people to show respect, because I think it's how you humble yourself. I don't know why, but then white people walk up straight. I want this. Past tense for 9 respect.